Next step, like I said, we're going to do shading first, cast shadows last. The first thing you want to do when you're creating your still life is decide where your light source is coming from, because it will affect how your shading is. We're going to have our light source coming from the left, like this. I put an arrow in just so that I remember in case I forget. So all my light is going to be coming like this. If the light is coming like this, our darkest shadows are going to be on the side. So what I'd like you to do is take your pencil, and I'm holding it like this, just as we did with the regular shapes that we learned about a couple weeks ago. And I'm just going to start shading in. I'm using the side of my pencil, and I'm just shading in. As I come towards the middle of the pumpkin, I will go a little bit lighter, and the way I'm doing that is just not applying as much pressure on my pencil. Notice how my strokes are now almost straight up and down, and on this side of the pumpkin, even lighter still, I'm going the other way. I'm just throwing in a little base here. At the grooves, it's still going to be dark. You want to kind of soften those original lines up and to show there's a groove, darken that, so you can tell that there's a roundness to it. Same thing here. Same thing here. And the same thing, even though this is the light side of the pumpkin, as the pumpkin curves around, it'll be a little darker on the bottom here. So I'm going to also darken this bottom part. As you can tell, it's pretty choppy at the moment, but what's going to happen, and we'll deal with this in a minute. So I'm going to take my stomp. You can use a finger or paper towel or Kleenex, and you're just going to start mushing it in. What it does is it smooths it all out. So I want you to continue smoothing yours as I'm smoothing mine. Okay, I don't know how far you got, but let's get going on the back. And the back here, what I'm doing is I'm just going to, back side of the pumpkin, I'm really darkening in right around the stem on both sides. Notice I'm going with the shape of the curve. I'm going to leave that for a second. I'm going to come on to the stem. And what you're going to do with the stem is it's going to have a lot of just squiggly wiggly lines, just like that. As you come over here, make them a little lighter. And then at the base, what I want you to do is really darken it in all the way across. Real dark. Right into the crease like that. And then nice and dark up onto the right side, because again our light's coming from this side here. And on top, just kind of doing like little circle things. A little jaggedy, again, darker on the side. Why don't you take your finger and just blend that all in. Nice and mushy. Now make a little bit of a more of a. Okay. Now we have all the basic shading in, what we're going to do is go around with our eraser and clean it up a little bit. And clean up the edges. You can do this afterwards if you're totally done if you like. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out this line over here, you wouldn't, in nature, you wouldn't see like a real sharp line on this bright side. So I'm pulling a lot of that out so it looks more natural. And then I'm going to pull out a little highlights. Oops. With my eraser. And it's always, you can always go back and play around, add some more highlights. And soften the edges so they're not real. Harsh. Same thing up here. A couple highlights. Maybe a couple highlights here. You can play around with it and see what you like. Alright, let's go on to our apples. The apples are going to get shaded the same way your circle does. Again, those basic shapes coming to help you out. This side, all on the bottom actually, will be nice and dark. As you come towards the center, straight up, less pressure, and then on the right we go this way with your pencil, and less pressure. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my apples, and you go ahead and do yours, and I'll meet up with you when we do the crepe.